Let me just tell you some of the key truths that I wanted to tell you in my original speech. One, Jacob Zuma is by far the most popular politician in this country, by far, including in the Eastern Cape. I know most of you don't believe it. It is true. The ANC is being funded by Iran through MTN. And Zuma is being funded by Russia.
Malema's rich, but how did he get rich? It's like follow the dots.
And Julius Malema, deep down, is a capitalist. He owns tons of properties. He's a member of the Ananda Club. His kids go to private schools. He wants to be one of the economic ruling class. Jacob Zuma is like this with Putin. That's where he got his funding from. No, all I'm saying is, in the scale of bad, MK is worse than EFF in my view. Way worse. And they have military capability.
The quality of relationships that we are going to establish going forward are not going to be based on the terms of reference of the colonial system where we are coming from. I mean, big kudos to China, big kudos to Russia for coming in, not rightfully so. We don't hear them getting involved directly in terms of fighting, but their support, great support. Even in terms of, we need a big brother, let's be honest, when it comes to security and other things, because the Americans and the British and the French will not take the losses lying down. They're going to be looking for other methods of starting up other coups, assassinations. We already have a good history. Muammar Gaddafi is evidence. P.O. Lumumba is evidence. And Magufuli, we are not very sure, but there are problems right there. And the list can go on and on. So the quality of relationships we're going to establish, the white people who are going to survive in Africa are those who are now walking in here with respect for local people and with cooperation. And they're coming in not to colonize, but to work together in partnership with the Africans. They are the quality of white men who can ask, how can I help you? How can I work with you? How can I assist you? How best do you want to utilize what I have and what I have? And by the way, this is not an abusive relationship. It is mutual, because it is in that relationship that the person who is coming with resources is coming to the one who has resources. So it's mutual. What do you want from me? You want a bit of uranium? Okay. For what cost? 1, 2, 3, 4. And I like what the young man did for the uranium, Tori, for the uranium. He said, you want your uranium? It's okay. You've put the power station right here so that the switch for power will be here. And if you misbehave there, I can also have an opportunity of switching off electricity for you. Now that's, for me, that's mutual relationship. So if you don't respect me, yet I have the resource that makes you good, then maybe you're not my good friend altogether. Because it cannot not only work for you. And this whole concept again, which must be cleaned up very quickly, of Western interests. America must protect its interests. France must protect its interest. And you wonder, when did your interests fly from New York to Africa? In which aeroplane were they to arrive here? And when are you going to start discussing the interests of the local people also? So is it all about you being a bully, walking up in a supermarket, walking up on a table and cutting off all the choice pieces of meat that you want? And then you leave the Africans with the head and the skin and the hoofs and say, okay, that's what you can feed on. That's African diet. And you take away all the nice choicest parts of meat. That mutual respect is lacking. And it's sad, it's very sad to say, the American government, the British government, and the French government in particular. I isolate those three governments and the Israeli government. They are the total nuisance to the whole world as we speak right now. They are the nuisance, and I want to put it on record. America, Britain, France, and Israel are the biggest nuisance in the world right now. And their allies, that includes Australia, that includes Canada, that includes the other puppies that are running behind them to support everything that they are saying. Our heroes right now is Russia, it is China, it is India, bit of Brazil, who seem to be understanding our problem. It's not the 100% solution for Africa, but what they're bringing to the table is far much better than what the colonizers have done with us for the past 100 years. So we need a different strategic partnership with the Western world, and that relationship must be based on honesty, truth, and if they are really honest that they're talking about democracy, they must include the word self-determination inside the democracy, that the African is free to express himself the way he wants to express himself. Like Museveni said, don't bring your culture and try and confuse us here. We are fine. We are doing just fine. And if you want these people that practice other things, you can take them to your place. And there are also people in your place who don't like what we can bring them here, so that we create harmony. So we cannot use culture as a form of tension and as a token of payment.